Hello and welcome to another installment of Battle Protocol. In today's episode we're going to be discussing an overview of Transformers Prime and everything that goes with it. A few of us have watched the pilot episode for Transformers Prime, the Darkness Rising 5-parter, and we provide our fresh thoughts after watching it. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's get things underway by initiating the member select program, right?
This is a Battle Protocol. Activate the member select program.
Battle Protocol activating now.
Hello, I'm Matt, and I am also Cosmic Conker, which is the channel you're on at the moment. So I'm trying to do more videos like this, a few collecting focused ones, customization of different things. Also, hopefully, more animation as well. I've got a number of different social platforms, but YouTube's the main one.
Hello, so I am Joe, and I am an aspiring voice actor. I've done a few animations here and there. I don't really have a handle or anything. I just sort of drop in and out wherever I feel like I want to. Wherever I can get a part in something. I'm happy to be here. We all love Transformers, and that's why we're here.
What up? It's your boy, Joey P, aka Crosshairs Productions. You find me on YouTube under that handle, as well as Instagram, Facebook as well, but really only because of cross-posting. I am the world's only fan of Shattered Glass and the creator of Transformers Ascension, Broken Mirror, Shattered Glass, Target Alpha Trion, the Ascension verse as a whole. That's me.
Hi, my name's Nicole. I'm on Instagram at Hazy Inferno. I like doing art, and I do quite like Transformers, so I just pop in from time to time to talk about Transformers.
Additionally, we also have Skye, Speedster, and the Tardis as well. Unfortunately, Skye wasn't very well when we went to film the main portion of this installment. However, they were present for the post-rewatch of Darkness Rising. So they'll be in this start of the video, but not the rest of it. So let's rewind and go back to our fresh thoughts after watching the 5-part Darkness Rising episode. Okay, so we've just watched Transformers Prime, the first 5 episodes, Darkness Rising, which was nicely hosted by Joe here.
Yippee! It was fun. I enjoyed doing that.
And I think it's been a while since any of us actually watched them, I think. Going around the call, like, has anyone watched it recently?
No?
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
A few years for me.
Not from beginning to end. I think I might have watched 1 or 2 episodes in isolation, like maybe the finale of season 3, but not really since the first broadcast, really.
I think I would go back and watch maybe a couple of segments from my favorite episodes, but I wouldn't actually sit down and watch the whole mini series of the 5 episodes. So it has been a while.
Probably has been a good maybe 4 years, 5 years since I saw Darkness Rising. But I do occasionally watch just the random episode here and there.
I just haven't had time to see it. 3-4 years ago. Yeah,
I think it's been a good few years for me as well.
Well, I'm one of those guys, once I've watched a particular piece of media, that's it done, and I move on to the next thing. Which isn't that's not a universal law for me, but it's just a new Transformers show has come along frequently enough that's been able to take my interest, even if it's been a bit rubbish.
Yeah, most of them are rubbish.
I mean, when you think about it as well, the fact that this show is 15 years old as well.
Ew.
It feels older.
It kind of does.
As I mentioned before, like watching the adverts on Cartoon Network with my mate, and I wasn't really into Transformers. I was only interested in the little Dark Limit Legends toys at the time. I didn't really like the movies. And I just remember watching them and thinking, this looks like the coolest thing ever. And then we made a little series. That was just my pure love for Transformers. I was like, yes, now I've got so many memories from this show that it's just I love it. I love this show.
See, with series that really resonate with me, I'll do a rewatch every few years, but this is just one. I've done it once maybe since I first watched it, which was a few years back. Yeah, I just haven't felt the need to rewatch this one too many times.
Yeah.
I mean, we've also done the other rewatches, didn't we? We've done Beast Wars and RID.
We tried Beast Machines, but Keej isn't here, so we won't go into that whole debacle.
That's Guy.
So Darkness Rising, what did we all think?
Good. Overall really good. I would give it a 7 out of 10. The entire arc.
That's great. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you for the next episode.
I mean, like, I think out of like all of like the arcs we had in Transformers Prime, like between like the relics, Unicron, the Beast, all that, I think like Darkness Rising is probably one of the more basic ones.
It was a weak start to the series.
Like, I still love it. Like, I especially love, I think maybe because like I was obsessed with like that like zombie era. Like, that was around the time when a lot of the video games were doing zombies as well. So they were clearly picking up on a trend. But I love the zombie fight. It's just so just gritty. It's great.
Well, I think that zombies generally were very much in the kind of media zeitgeist. Like, I think was it 2010 that The Walking Dead first season came out, or was it a little later?
Maybe around then.
But I think maybe around then. But there was a lot of things that, like you say, Skye, like video games, like Call of Duty, still had like big zombie kind of themes and all that going on. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that came into the Prime equation. I don't know if this is necessarily like a weak opener.
No,
I think it does. I think it does enough to kind of just set the stakes and set the tone.
It shows a lot of characterizations, tone, world building, and all that's good. It's just not as interesting as what comes later.
Yeah, for sure. It's just it's laying the groundwork, and not all of it sticks. Like, we during the episodes we were talking about, some lore stuff that's brought up is like completely retconned later on. But yeah, it does enough to kind of, it does exactly what a pilot episode or pilot serial needs to do, which is introduce you to the world, give you the character dynamics.
Well, it introduces you to the world with a character voiced by an A-list celebrity who that perishes very quickly.
Yep. You can only afford him for the one episode.
I mean, was he A-list back then?
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, he was huge.
He was in pretty much every film. So should we just go around the call and just what was everyone's like favorite bit of this 5-parter? I'm hearing silence.
That's all right. I'm waiting for Joe to say the first thing, because he's the most fired up about this.
I mean, like Skye said, just that zombie fight was just so good. But I think my favorite fight was that mine one, like the one where like they're gonna go save Cliffjumper, who little do they know he's been cut in half and turned into a zombie, and he goes. Oh. But
that was very good.
Yeah, it's just that bit where like they're all like in sync. There are just amazing sound effects. You see Optimus being an absolute tank, lifting up a giant drill machine, shooting it, and they all just transform and ram into a load of dudes. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, hang on.
You get what I mean. You get what I mean by that.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Valk, explain.
Please elaborate for the kids at home.
No.
We're cutting that bit.
Do we have to?
It's just the way that they've all got their own cool little moments in it. As I said, like the Optimus lifts up the drill, shoots it. Bulkhead slams into a guy, uses the mace to slam him back down to the ground. It's so well choreographed, and it just shows how powerful these characters are, and like their own little unique moments in a way. Yeah, like
there's a lot of effort, and I don't think I really appreciated it at the time. Like, there's a lot of effort and a lot of thought that goes into the fight choreography for every episode. Like, it's not just smacking each other until the Veercon falls down. At least for this opener, it's like there is thought that goes into the fighting styles of each of the Autobots. Like, Bulkhead obviously kind of throwing his weight around, and Prime just kind of tanking everything, and you see how strong he is. RC is much more kind of acrobatic and lithe and jumping about the place and faster.
I'll be honest, like when I've had my previous rewatches of this, I've often had it on as background noise and not really paid attention to the visuals so much. And I almost feel like I've kind of spoilt myself a bit out of that, because the visuals are really nice in this series.
Yeah, they actually... There are definitely a lot of moments where it hasn't aged as well as as other parts. But there's some bits where like the lighting looks a bit weird, or especially when there's like smoke and dust involved. I think that really kind of highlights some of the age of the technology, but I think for the most part, it still looks really, really good. Like the textures and the use of lighting is amazing. And it really holds up for a 15-year-old show. The only thing that I noticed doesn't really hold up, it does get better over time though, is the lip syncing, and I notice it most with Starscream. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that.
I noticed it a lot with Ratchet.
I mainly see it with Starscream.
Yeah, Ratchet has it, but Starscream, I think it's because of Starscream's face shape that he is the worst culprit for, like, really weird lip syncing and like mouth movements.
I think it's the chin.
Like, I suppose when it comes to the visuals, I think, like, I always thought, like, even, like, especially when some of the later, like, full-blown CGI shows started coming out, like, say, well, I wouldn't say War for Cybertron's the best example, but even, like, Earthspark, that, like, the human animation in that is so much better than, like, it just looks nicer, but, like, they always say that, like, metal is so much easier is the easiest thing to animate because it doesn't have to bend.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not hard to make it look shiny. It's not hard to... It's just the easiest thing to animate with.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I grew up with this show too, not as much as Rescue Bots, but this is pretty cool. And I just really liked seeing the designs of the characters. That's what hooked me onto this show in the first place. I couldn't really care for the first 5 episodes, though. It's afterwards, but we're only talking about the first 5 right now.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the space bridge sequence whenever they all went to space. That was pretty cool. The only thing that I would say was weak was whenever Raph and Jack went to go to the, wherever they went in Texas.
When they went to Texas in general.
Yeah, when they went to Texas and, like, Soundwave was with them, I would say that was the weakest portion of that. But otherwise, no, it was pretty cool. I really like seeing the graphics of the space bridge.
Yeah, I do think they could have cut this down to 3 parts instead of 5.
Yeah, it at times it did feel a little bit dragged out, but I think they just wanted to show what all the characters were kind of doing. I feel like they spent too much time with Jack.
But following on from what Nicole said about the designs of the characters is, like, one of the main appeal parts for me. Is just I really liked how creative some of the takes were, especially, like, Ratchet and Cliff Jumper. Like, how they kind of changed the look of them. Kind of went for almost like a hybrid of movie and G1, but doing something new at the same time. And I just remember watching this thinking, I really want toys of these, and I went to wait a few years for that.
God, yeah, it took until 2012, I think, for the first toys to actually get out onto, you know, brick and mortar stores.
It was so bad I was one of the first to review Prid Wheeljack.
I remember getting him from Argos. Oh, God.
But also, like, the cartoon is designed to sell the toys, and that's why I was, like, mentioning the designs of the characters made me want the toys, which made me keep watching.
Yeah.
Like, the actual episode itself, Darkness Rising, wasn't that much of a hook for me. It was the episodes after that kept me interested.
Yeah.
They were definitely holding back with Darkness Rising. They were like, yeah, we're going to give all the good stuff later. Let's pump these out, show what this show's about, and then we'll start splurging.
But one last question on Darkness Rising, by the way. How has it held up over the years for you? Like, how does it compare to when you first watched it, compared to when you watched it just now?
I mean, I still have kind of nostalgia goggles over it, and, you know, having been so long since I last watched it in full, like, there's a big kind of wave of nostalgia and kind of, oh wow, I remember this, that really kind of like hypes it up. But I think if I kind of take away those rose tinted specs for a bit, like, I think it's not as kind of massively groundbreaking as I kind of saw it originally. I certainly don't think that Jack is as good a human protagonist as I originally thought back in 2010.
Yeah, we were talking about it the other day. Everyone starts to prefer Miko as they get older to Jack.
Yeah, I think, like, Miko certainly improves, like, and it has the best arc over the 3 seasons, and actually Jack is a bit kind of bland and doesn't change all that much as far as
they're all meant to be kids and everything, but Miko actually kind of acts like one in that situation.
Yeah, like she like anyone who I said this a couple of calls ago. Anyone who thinks that they're a Jack in this scenario would actually be a Miko. You'll be freaking out at this. You'll be so excited. Like, Joe, you know what I mean. You would know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. Although I did find like Miko to be the most annoying character in this one.
Yeah.
I'm usually a Miko.
At the time.
At the time, I loved Miko. I thought she was
really?
great. I was a Miko defender.
Oh, so you've gone the other way.
To an extent. Yeah, like, just from that, she was just like, rock on! You're a rock star, man! Like, that's too much.
Yeah, but that's like
it's too much.
fitting for the character and age.
Yeah, I think there's a kind of level of... It was kind of cringy then.
Yeah.
It's cringy now, but sort of, like, charming.
If anything, I find like Jack and Raph cringier of how they act. Like,
I preferred Raph because he's a lot more toned down. I feel like he's...
But there's just nothing to him, really.
Yeah, it's because they focus on the other two too much, but I do love that moment where he just gets overwhelmed when Jack and Miko are arguing.
Yeah.
I adore that moment where it's too much going on, everything's kicking off, they're screaming at each other, and he just says, just stop arguing.
Me when I get overstimulated. I feel like that would have been handled in a very different way. Not that this was like handled a bad way, but I think if Prime was a show that was made a couple years ago, like if that was Earthspark, it would have looked into Raph having something like severe anxiety.
I think especially knowing that, like, because I think when it first came out, we all, especially with Raph, we all kind of thought, oh, like he understands Bumblebee and all this kinds of stuff, so it's like, oh, that's probably going to go somewhere, and we know now that it doesn't. So, you know, it's like, you know, so like, yeah, so we're like, oh, like, how does that work? Kind of like in the way that, like...
Oh boy, I hope this gets conclusion.
Like the stuff, say, in animated with Sari, that, like, there was the little nods and things to later on that turns out she was half Cybertronian. Whereas, like, with Raph, like, it's a lot more blunt that, like, oh, he's a bit different. And it's like, it just goes nowhere at all. So that...
Yeah, I wonder if they were trying to treat that as a kind of spiritual successor to Sari's arc.
I'm not sure.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of them
like,
having a connection.
I'm wondering, like, was it just meant to be that, oh, just Raph is such a big geek that he understands Bumblebee? And yeah, like...
I reckon it's that.
It was just very, just the fact that it felt like it should have gone somewhere, but it didn't. But, like, I do definitely think, though, that, like, when I saw this as an 11 or 10 or 11-year-old, I know that, like, I didn't, like, appreciate some of the lines and some of the bits of dialogue in it. Like, Optimus has so many lines that just go so hard in the episode. Like, he really does. And, like, it's, I think as a kid, obviously a lot of that stuff kind of goes over your head. Because, like, especially some of it as a kid, you don't really understand some of the things he's saying. But now, like, especially with how toned down, obviously a lot of the animated shows have become, because they're a lot more sensitive about, like, oh, children are watching this.
I think we should just get rid of children, point period.
I'm down with that.
Erase them. Start as fully grown adults.
So, Nicole, how's this aged for your estimations, like from when you last watched it?
No, it aged pretty good. I still quite enjoy the animation and quality after all these years. I know it came out more than a decade ago, and things have drastically advanced since then, but it's pretty good. And the story is still nice, too. Even though it's not my favorite part of the show, as I said. It does have a pretty decent story. I do like the zombie aspect of it. I'm not a big fan of human protagonists in Transformers shows, so I would have preferred having less humans.
Yeah, that's usually the case with a lot of them, but I do think in some series they do get the balance right. And I think they do get this with some of them, like Fowler, for example. Like, do you hate Fowler?
I do not hate Fowler. I don't know anyone who could ever hate Fowler.
Exactly.
But
Get him on Battle Protocol.
Yeah, I forgot how, like, Ratchet is so ready to just, like, kill any of them at any given moment. He's so ready. And, like, I love the bit of, like, Jack's having, like, a mental breakdown. It's like, no, I can't do that. I can't do this anymore. I need to go. And Ratchet's like, all right, out you go. Come on.
Go.
There's the door. Bye-bye. Jeffrey Combs is amazing, man. He's such a great actor.
I think it was one of the first times in a Transformers series that we kind of get flung into the world a few years later. with Transformers, like usually we're so like up until that point we were so used to the first episode being how they arrive on Earth or this, that, the other. Whereas at this point they've been on Earth for what, 5 years at this point, 5 or 6 years at least. Yeah, so they've been on Earth for a couple of years at this point, and it's like you kind of just hit the ground run with the characters. Like you just kind of hit the ground running with them. They're already kind of fairly well realized. You kind of know what they're about, and it doesn't feel glaringly like you don't feel like you're missing anything. It's like it just works. Like I don't feel like I need to see how they started or anything like that. It just whatever way they've just set up the world from the first like few minutes.
And those were our thoughts after the Darkness Rising 5-parter. Yeah, we went on a fair bit, went off tangent every so often, but let's go on to the main portion of this Battle Protocol installment. Okay, so now everyone's here, let's go over Transformers Prime as a whole, a series that all of us have watched, enjoyed, and reminisced on. We're going to go over a few different topics, and the first one of that is how the series came to be, its legacy, as well as how it influenced the fandom as a whole. Has anyone got anything to say on that?
So Transformers Prime was probably, I think it was my first like proper introduction to the franchise. Unlike the movies, where the movies just like, I saw them, I didn't watch them, but I remember seeing them on the TV, and, like trailers and stuff, and thinking, that looks messy. This looks like it's just going to destroy my brain. I do not like this. And then when I saw trailers for Prime pop up on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, I thought, this looks like something I can actually follow, and like a genuine thing I'll be interested on, like just utter bloodshed that the movies are. So this show means a lot to me. It's a lot of fun. It was my first proper thing into the franchise. I loved it.
Yeah, and as you were saying about the movies, this one was heavily inspired by the movies, and I think it's a perfect adaptation of the sort of Michael Bay era translated to a 20-minute weekly cartoon. Like the visuals are top tier of the CGI and everything. Designs evoke the sort of style in the movie as well.
It was like, I was about to say it was like if they kidified the movies, but not really. It's just if they, kind of, but if they just streamline those designs and just throw a little bit of G1 spice, a little bit of comic spice into it, and it sort of becomes more palatable for most people, I think. If you tone down Michael Bay, that's what it would be.
I remember like all the trailers coming out for it, and like I had a very kind of vivid memory of that all happening around about kind of, was it 2009, 2010 that was starting to pop up, and it's amazing how Prime in particular has become such a defining piece of media for Transformers fans. Like for a whole generation, that is their Transformers, and it is very, like you said, very much influenced by the Bay films. It takes a lot of that kind of gravitas and kind of, like weight of story, and turns it into this really well put together, like serialized storytelling. It's funny thinking about it in terms of in the same kind of way as you may think about things like Spectacular Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man, and then Avengers EMH going into Avengers Assemble. Like it was technically it's a product of kind of brand synergy, or trying to make cancelling a beloved cartoon in order to have something new that kind of is in line with the big screen stuff that everyone's going out to see.
And on that topic as well, I'm really glad they didn't just follow the movies and do their own version like some of those series did, but they did their own thing the whole way through.
Definitely, yeah. They kept a lot of elements from the films, and I think it definitely succeeded in many more ways than the Marvel contemporaries. But yeah, like kind of the smaller cast, the really grounded Earth stories. The mythology as well, which I think we'll kind of get into later. It condensed what was great about the movies into mature storytelling, which ran for what was it? It went from 2010 till 2013, was it?
Yeah,
it had a very good run, and it's amazing how definitive a version it is for the brand as a whole, if not not just like a generation.
I think it's very interesting how it kind of altered the Transformers community, because a lot of people that I did know early on before I joined Infinisun, all of them were very heavy into the Transformers Prime thing because of the art style and how the characters looked. And it's overall just a really great storyline. I mean, in my opinion, it's the best Transformers show ever, besides from Rescue Bots.
I don't know, Beast Wars exists.
Nicole's got a point.
I like Beast Wars.
Rescue Bots did overtake G1 as the longest running TF show.
I've still never watched an episode of Rescue Bots.
You're missing out.
We need to get you on Rescue Bots.
You're missing out, bro.
I mean, you were talking about how it was very Bayverse-y, Transformers Prime, or it took a lot of elements from Bayverse. I disagree. I think the only elements it took was some design cues, mainly in the form of like the Autobots just looking slightly more realistic.
That's what I was saying, like, it's like a gateway for the Movieverse fans to absorb the wider Transformers brand.
For the Movieverse fans to experience something good.
Because they can see, like, okay, Bumblebee kind of carries over a bit from that, and then they're like, okay, I can connect to that, and just giving them connection points, they can, like, get into it.
Yeah, give them something familiar for them to grasp to, and then they're there for the rest of the show. Like, oh, the story's good, I'm going to keep watching. Instead of just being, oh, I recognise that design or that character.
Yeah. So, a bit of history on how, like, Prime came to be as well. Like, back in 2009, Hasbro Studios was formed as a sort of media, like an entertainment section of the Transformers brand. And with it, they created the Hub channel, and they needed a new cartoon for that. And this was, it was actually planned to be based upon the movies, which is why you see a lot of those sort of design cues in the Transformers. And this is also where the concept for the much-beloved aligned continuity started. And an interesting bit of trivia here, by the way. The series name Prime isn't because of Optimus Prime, it's because it's meant to be the Prime universe of the aligned continuity.
What a mess the aligned continuity was.
Yeah, what an absolute disaster of storytelling. It just did not work out at all, did it? Like, they had the Covenant... They made the Covenant of Primus, like, show Bible thing that was meant to be kind of, you need to refer to this, but also you don't need to refer to this if you find an interesting story to tell. And then, like, it just had nothing. There's, like, nothing that really brought all of these disparate stories and shows and games together in a way that was actually convincing. So I mean, it was like
it would just. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. It was a. I'd say that it was a good attempt, but it wasn't really an attempt.
Yeah, it would restrict writers of like what they could actually do and really restrict creative freedom. It's like, oh, you've got to refer to this thing that we wrote 3 years ago. Like, I get it. It's like similar with like Star Wars, where you get like a new writer on, and they're like, "Oh, I need to follow what's been done prior." Okay, it really does kind of restrict like new writers and new people and what they can do.
But for any listeners who want to know more about the sort of origins of Transformers Prime and that history, there's like better videos out there for all of that, which like the basics, for example, which will be linked in the description.
We're going to be referencing that occasionally.
But another part of this sort of subject as well, with just the general legacy of Transformers Prime, is I think we kind of touched on it a bit, which is the different fans this series introduced, like very different from sort of past generations. Like I think because RC was a lot more of a prominent character and wasn't just depicted overly girly, I think that brought a lot more like women, well, younger girls into the franchise as well.
I'm muted right now, but I'm really sorry. I don't know who the f*** is mowing.
And you also had people who were into, like, I think animated also attracted a good different crowd because it was more the Cartoon Network style, wasn't it? So
I wouldn't lie, I never really got into animated, like, at the time. Like, Prime was my first one, just because I think it was those sort of Bayverse designs It's like, ooh, I know I was talking about it before, but like I think it might have been that, like, ooh, I kind of recognise this, so I'll watch this.
I do think Prime was like probably the first Transformers series to kind of appeal a lot more to like girls than it would just boys as well.
No, it was. I mean,
I
that's
think-
how I got into it.
Sorry, Nicole.
Don't talk over the girl.
I'm sorry. I'm just sexist.
Yeah,
Cut
this
that
is
bit.
a question centered around how women got into this. I know it's 2025 and we can accept everything, but I don't know if you identify as a woman, Joe.
I know. I just think as a cis white man, I think that my opinions on women is actually quite valued here.
We only had to jump in there because someone's mowing the lawn outside Nicole's window.
I know it was devastating. Okay. Anyways, yeah. I mean, a lot of the people that I also interacted with whenever I first joined the Transformers thing. By the way, this is like early days of Instagram. Was mostly women. I didn't really see a lot of men participate in it. Then again, I guess it was just that.
I think it's platform and social circles, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but I just couldn't conjure up the words to say it. It was definitely just mostly women, and then over time it kind of stayed mostly women. But, you know, there has been more men introduced into that whole thing now, but I stayed more on the artist side of it because, again, the characters definitely influenced my art style, and those characters definitely influenced a lot of other Instagram artists that I know. Because I don't know, just the characters, they're all very cool in their own way. The only character that I have beef with in terms of design is Starscream. Like, I hate the way he looks. Whenever I first started watching the show and like I saw his design for the first time, I was like, this guy looks like a tapeworm.
Nah.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
No, he's actually
wrong.
horrible. And the worst part is when I was on Instagram, I knew people who were obsessed with Starscream in the sense of a romantic interest. And it just irked me the wrong way, you know, because like he's got such a horrible design.
No.
See, I don't like his design, but I think his voice is and like characterization's really good.
No, his voice actor did amazing work along with the characterizations. I mean, like the storyline, if you ignore the design for Starscream, is really nice. It's just it's the design that gets me. So whenever I first saw like the Cyberverse design along with RID 2015 and G1 designs for Starscream, I was like, why didn't they just kind of keep to that?
I think Starscream is a lot like Grimlock, where they kind of just hit it out the park first time and create a really good design.
I disagree.
I also disagree, but more than Valk.
No, Starscream, I loved Starscream to bits. He was my favourite. I loved his design as well. So much so where, like, I remember going into Argos, like, yeah, this is back in the day, to try and find the first edition toy. And no, we didn't get first editions in the UK, I don't think, because all they had was Wheeljack.
No.
I love that design so much. It really sort of goes into the whole snivelling coward sort of stereotype, and I love that. It was the first time they ever had the Starscream design go into that stereotype, really lean into it, and I loved that aspect of it.
I think it would have been.
I have the toy in front of me. Sorry, I have the toy in front of me right now. I bought this. I remember buying the retail version back when it first came out and really enjoying that before I turned it into my rubbish shattered glass custom. And then a few years back, I picked up the first edition version at TFN,
Yes.
and it captures the characters so well. Like this design, not just the toy, but just like the character design in general, just captures everything about his personality so well. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I get why people may find it a bit dull,
Because it is.
because he is like, you know, well, shut up. But
I do think the toy is really well designed, the first edition one. Like the engineering and how he's like such a skinny like twig that turns into the jet, like works really, really well, especially for the time.
yeah, He bows so well. He
definitely.
does such a excellent, like, subservient, sniveling little "I live to serve" kind of thing, and like they got like a knife behind his back sort of pose. I think it's a brilliant design.
think-
it maybe is a little bit colorless, especially next to Megatron, but
I think my issue with the Starscream being all twiggy is they also made Soundwave all twiggy at the same time. I think if they just did one of them, it'd be easier to just... But the fact they did
I
it
don't
with both
know.
of them...
I feel like Soundwave's design actually really works in the series. If you go back to like trying to do his G1 design or even all the other designs from everywhere else, it's kind of just a copy and paste, but with some modifications. His design for Transformers Prime is really good for me.
It was the first really different Soundwave, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
animated
it was
exists.
very, very alien.
Well, I haven't seen it animated.
Yeah, I really like the animated design for Soundwave, but that's not what we're here for. You can definitely see how much the Movieverse inspired Prime Soundwave, just making him so like thin and alien looking. Like he's creepy as shit. And like, it's such a good design. You would absolutely like if you try to hug him, you get a paper cut. But like,
I'm not hugging him.
he's right. I know, no one is. But I don't know, they really get like the creepy vibes right with Soundwave. Keeping him quiet, giving him this really kind of, I don't know, I don't know what the right word is, but kind of like, it's all like a cryptid, I think. He's got a very kind of like cryptid sort of energy in his design that just, he's just standing there menacingly, and you just love to see it.
What do you guys think about him not having a voice in this as well? Because they've got Bumblebee without a voice as well.
I think it works. I mean,
I liked
they
it.
already have Bumblebee without a voice, so why not just put someone on the Decepticons with one? I mean, I think he could obviously still have his voice, but he just chooses to be a bit creepy.
I think the bigger crime was like not giving Bumblebee a voice. I think Soundwave not having a voice fits a lot better.
Bumblebee suffered from it, but Soundwave, I liked it. It just added to the creepiness. He was the silent guy who could kick your ass if he really wanted to.
A bit like Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe, where he's just kind of like
Exactly.
a silent kind of badass.
Exactly. It's just so good. And then when you see him eventually fight, he fights, and he doesn't stop until he wins.
But he fights, but like he doesn't. He's like, it's not as if he's actually trying. I love how he fights because it's just kind of going through the motions rather than actually kind of engaging with his combatants.
It's minimalistic.
Yeah, block that. Yeah, just like, yeah, here we go, precision strike. There you go. You can't breathe now for 5 minutes. Straight to the jugular.
It's great. And how much personality you can get out of a faceless silent character as well is fantastic.
Yeah, the Transformers Prime Soundwave, the sort of design and just silent kind of aspect has grown on me throughout the years. Like, I did not like it at first, but I definitely warmed to it.
Oh, I love it. I want to get the figure out now.
Yeah. I miss mine. Yeah, I want to go home and get him again.
So some other characters I wanted to bring up is kind of that sort of tie-in to animated I mentioned before, is like they brought back like sort of Bulkhead and Ratchet in kind of similar personalities but slightly different. Where in this like case, like Bulkhead is a lot less goofy and a bit more hardened as like a kind of someone who's been through the war and everything. Meanwhile, you've got like Ratchet, who's still grouchy but in a very different way to his animated counterpart.
Yeah, it's interesting how we're talking about kind of brand synergy and the influence of the Movieverse, because Bulkhead was at one point going to be Ironhide and there was concept art for it, but then I think they kept Bulkhead because they were, I think maybe kids were more familiar with the animated iteration, I guess.
I guess it's also like, because animated sets some of this up, they're kind of working off that, which is quite nice to see, rather than just abandoning everything from the previous one.
Yeah, and I can't think of anyone who hates any iteration of Bulkhead. I think this version is great. I think animated is probably my favourite version of him.
Oh, definitely.
But this is still this is still a really good interpretation of the character. He's at least like so many cartoons, looking at you, Marvel, fall into the trope, and actually RID15 did this as well, of the big dumb green idiot with a heart of gold trope, and I hate it so much, but Bulkhead kind of goes against the grain because he's clumsy, but he's not stupid. Like he's a really, really good fighter. He's got a heart of gold, but like he's not dumb.
He's competent.
I really like that about him. That he's a very skilled fighter. Like he is a brawler for sure. He is like throwing his weight around, but he knows what he's doing, and he's not. Yeah, sorry.
And that first edition toy of his as well. What like amazing transformation that had. Like I was so impressed by it.
Yeah, I'm so scared. Mine has. I think most people have this. There are stress marks around the mushroom peg in his bicep, and I know that if I go back and play with that at some point in the very near future, that's going to break and shear, and I'm going to be so sad.
Let me check my APC one real quick.
Oh, your APC's probably fine. I do intend to get the APC bulk.
Oh no, it's stress marks.
It's really funny.
It is really good.
Oh no,
just use a hairdryer on it. That usually fixes it.
Alright, sweet.
Yeah, we'll just file it down a little bit. It's really funny. I've got a bunch of Prime figures with me at uni, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 Prime figures, and 4 of them are APC like reissues.
Oh, they're so good. They're just so good.
They are so good.
I like them.
In season 2, when he got badly injured, seemed like he was going to die, and then he just came back. Would anyone else agree that if they did actually give him like a sort of heroic death and something like that, he would probably be almost like Dinobot tier of how people remember him, versus just,
oh god, yeah. I mean,
versus just like fading into the background.
I can't remember if I was disappointed when he when the episode first came, when those episodes first came out, and like that he didn't die, but I definitely felt like there would have been so much more gravity in that if he actually had been offed. I think they were considering it, like, genuinely.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
It really felt like they were.
I like Bulkhead. I wouldn't want him to die, but if he did die, that would have so much weight, like you said, like so much impact. And
yeah. And I mean, we're still a long way off that episode in our rewatch, but I remember that whole episode, his fight with Hardshell, being such like. Not what's the word? Not like a slog, but he was giving it all. He was suffering from the effects of the poison, like the toxin, and he's just giving it all in this fight. He's just finding every last reserve of energy. It would be such a great way for him to go out, and it's kind of a shame he didn't.
I think he should have survived the Battle of Hardshell, but it'd be after that, while he's recovering, he has to do something where he sacrifices himself. I think that would have had more weight to it.
Yeah, I think...
I could see that.
I think suddenly dying to a new character who has never popped up before prior...
That would annoy people.
I'd be human. Oh, Hardshell. Oh, I hate this guy. If it was like Dreadwing and Hardshell, I'd be a little bit more on board.
Well, that's why I said, like, I like the idea of Bulkhead surviving the fight with Hardshell, but then while he's still recovering, he puts himself in the line, kind of like Dinobot, where he's just like in that critical state but keeps going.
Yeah,
like something like that would be really cool.
His last stand type thing.
We could have had another award-winning performance from Jeffrey Combs if that had happened.
Oh yeah.
Which, man, like Ratchet in this is incredible. I think it's the best version of the character by a country mile.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, love animated. I love that. Cranky Ratchet is fun. Maybe it's a bit similar to Cup and Ironhide as you might typically see them, but like Jeffrey Combs is a phenomenal actor. He's basically every character in Star Trek, but he gives so much to Ratchet that just elevates that character above all the others.
I also think his design looks really cool as well.
It is great. It is a great design.
I was delighted. I don't think... Did he... Obviously, he did get a toy, but I don't recall if that was in like the first wave or when that came out.
It was like wave 2, I think. It was in the RID line, I know that, but it might have been like wave 2. It was
wave
quite
2
late.
or 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I seem to recall like being worried that we wouldn't get a toy of him. I don't know why.
We got everyone else in the first edition line except for Ratchet, that's why.
Maybe, yeah. It's probably why.
I still think the toy doesn't quite do the character like 3D model justice enough. That's why I'm really hoping we get like a better one down the line.
it's lacking in a few places, especially the legs. I have the Cannonball version with me, just because I love Cannonball. And yeah, like, I mean, that version has problems, but I think that there are a lot of areas in that figure which it is sort of lacking. The arms definitely not, but the legs are not good.
Like, it's still a decent toy, but I just feel like the 3D model deserves a better toy overall.
He needs a Voyager. He definitely needs a Voyager.
I wish we got a variant. I wish we had a variant where he had his missing head from that one episode.
From the one frame.
The one frame where...
I recall there was a recent Hasbro interview where they're talking about going back to the Prime designs and making them show accurate at some point.
Oh, I'd love that.
Okay, I hadn't come across that.
I would absolutely adore that. It'd be pretty hard to top these old figures, but I think you could get a better Ratchet and Bumblebee, especially a new Arachnid as well.
Yeah. Oh god, Arachnid was an interesting addition to the lineup.
I like Arachnid.
Like,
oh, she's so good.
I think on the whole she's great. I think she was a really, really good addition. Kind of a Decepticon, but very much with her own agenda and kind of begrudgingly part of the gang. But the dynamic she had with RC was really good. Shame that the Terracon thing didn't really go anywhere. Like, they had that whole setup with her in front of the Cybertron's moon, and like, are we gonna have Arachnid commanding an army of zombie vampire Insecticons? Like, no, you can't have that.
I think Gina Torres did a great job voicing her, and then you also had Adam Baldwin as Breakdown, so it's like a little Firefly reunion.
Another thing about Arachnid is, I think we obviously mentioned it a bit, but like, such a creepy character as well. Like, have we ever seen a bit of Transformers where the human just gets hunted for almost an entire episode by a Decepticon? I don't think we've really seen that. Have we?
Season 3 of Beast Wars, you had the primitive humans getting chased.
Well, I mean, like, for pretty much the entire episode.
I also like how Prime as well had like lesser known characters, like, who were pretty obscure throughout like the franchise, that get like bigger spotlights. Like Knockout's a big one, Skyquake, Dreadwing, and Arachnid's even like a new character that they've made for this series. Although I think her name is based slightly on the Beast Wars Microverse playset, the spider one.
It's definitely not Black Arachnia for some reason. We want to make her a helicopter, but we won't actually get to a helicopter alt mode until like season 2, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Or late, no, it was late season 1, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But Knockout,
yeah,
what a phenomenal addition to the Decepticon roster. So fun. Such a fun character to have.
Knockout's pretty cool.
Even just giving the Decepticons a medic, finally.
Just building out the ranks with just different personalities as well. Because he was never, like, full-on Decepticon, I don't think. I'm kind of lying there. I don't know. I think just remembering how the show ended, where he was like, yeah, I'm joining the winning team. And he just didn't like Starscream at all. I think it was mainly, fear. That was what kept him in line. He was never fully on board with the Decepticons. He must have just been like, oh, they've got the best stuff. I'm going to join them.
Yeah, I think the fact he switched to the Autobots at the end kind of makes me think that's probably why he didn't show up in later series as a sort of mainstay Decepticon. I think if they kind of did more of a sort of tarantula spin where he kind of went full on evil or something like that, or like you saw like how twisted he is, like he would have probably been more of a mainstay in future series.
There's a better version of RID-15 somewhere in the multiverse where Knockout appeared, just at all.
I like how sassy he is.
Yeah, he does have some absolute sass. The personality is great.
I also like how he's voiced by that guy who was in Team America. I think another topic on characters that I think Nicole might want to talk about is Smokescreen.
I do like him. He is a pretty cool character.
Is that it?
Otherwise known as Not Rod.
Well, I mean, he's aight. He's cool. I like his colors. I like his personality.
I thought he was your favorite.
Yeah, you were talking about him before.
No, he is. He is. I just enjoy the way that they handled him. You know, he's such a sporadic little guy, and the fact that he didn't take the mantle of Prime for himself, but instead vowed to revive Optimus was pretty cool. I don't know, quite heroic to me.
I do think that was a bit of a cop-out. We should have got Smokestack Prime or something.
God, yeah, as much as I love Transformers Prime, as much as we all love Transformers Prime, I think you can't ignore how it never changed the status quo in a meaningful way.
That is true.
Yeah,
and it introduced a lot of concepts and arcs which either didn't really go anywhere or didn't have particularly fulfilling kind of conclusions.
They played it too safe for the most part.
They did, because they couldn't afford to. Basically, they literally couldn't afford to do that. But yeah, it's. I mean, like, there were so many arcs that Prime introduced with this. Like three seasons. You had, like, the first season was kind of first half introducing you to the world and kind of bringing in a few more Decepticons principally. And then the second half of that was the Unicron arc. Season 2 was... The start of it was Orion Pax, and then it was mainly the Relic Hunt, I think. And then Season 3, we had the bizarre turn towards... guess we doing Beasts now. It's the Predacons here.
Well, it was originally going to be Pirates, wasn't it?
It was going to be... Well, I don't know if it was... No, you're right. It was going to be Pirates. That was the principal idea that they had. And, we could have had Star Seekers, we could have Thundertron, there was a toy. Nope. The guy who came in to take control of Hasbro, or the Transformers, whatever it was, just really liked Optimus in green for some reason, and B, thought that we should do dragons now. Yeah.
Well, and also, like, Last Night was coming with its dragons as well, wasn't it? So...
this was 2013.
That was about 3 years later. Age of Extinction was next.
Yeah. Age of Extinction was next. I mean, it could have had some influence, like, you had the Dinobots.
Well, Age of Extinction would have been under production,
kind of...
but they'd have probably still been planning Last Night around the time that all came out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, like, there was also so much kind of, like, mythology introduced with Prime, like... I mean, the main thing being kind of, I think this was the first time that the 13 Primes was kind of brought into a sort of mainstream fiction beyond, like, the BotCon
and
stuff.
Revenge of the Fallen.
And Revenge of the Fallen was 7 Primes, and it didn't really kind of name them. It was like the Fallen and some other guys. One of them is Kevin Michael Richardson.
We are now a cave.
Yeah. But yeah, what did I mean? I think the Unicron becoming Earth was, or being the Earth was, a plot which I don't think a lot of people were really kind of behind. What did we think of that particular development and change of the law?
I liked the Unicron foot soldier designs, though, like the kind of, it had those multiple of them and everything.
I thought it was cool. It gave a reason why there was Energon on the planet, along with the zombie graveyard, and how the humans are connected to the Cybertronians.
Well, the Energon being part of the planet is all just converted energy. I think that's like kind of what Beast Wars went into, and same with Generation 1, where they convert natural energy into Energon.
Let me live in my illusions.
There's a lot of convenience with this show. It's like, yeah, this relic just somehow ended up on Earth, and so did this really powerful warrior, and so did this this graveyard of soldiers. Also, there's Energon here. There's a lot of things. Just like, yeah, we're on Earth. Yeah, we gotta bring everything to Earth now.
I was just gonna say, but there's I don't mean to actually you guys, but there is a line in one of the first 6 episodes from Ratchet where I think when they go to, it's either the dead battlegrounds of like all the fallen warriors or like one of the mines. He says something about there are Energon depositories all over Earth because I think Cybertronians just started to stockpile it and take it off of Cybertron and just put it in different places just so they could have it elsewhere. I think that was one of the lines. Something like that. Paraphrasing, but like, yeah, it was that basically.
No, that was in Darkness Rising, and cut this, Matt, because I don't want him to sound like he knows more than me about this show.
I do, but yeah.
Don't tell me to cut things, it just ruins the flow of things.
I'm sorry. But yeah, what else? So there was the Relic Hunt. The Relic Hunt was sorry, I need to really parse that properly. Relic Hunt. What did you guys...
I thought the Relic Hunt, in theory, sounded like it was going to be like this really fun adventure, but what we actually got was a bit somewhere in the middle.
It was what, like 6 episodes, 7 episodes of collecting relics?
It was I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it.
I liked the actual relics, and I liked just seeing, like, a certain Autobot go up against a certain Decepticon. I really liked that aspect.
I liked how Smokescreen got his powers.
Smokescreen getting the phase shifter was really fun.
And then Miko getting the mech suit.
That was the best bit.
Yes, definitely.
That was the absolute best.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even talk about the human characters really in much depth.
Oh yeah, they were fine. Anyway,
I think so. Out of the humans, I think Fowler and Miko are the best too.
At the time, I think most people really hated Miko because she was so excitable and high energy, and just like, no, I want my Transformers to be serious. But actually, she's the best human protagonist in that show, next to Fowler. Possibly one of the best human protagonists in all of Transformers cartoons, ever. And actually, if you were in the same position as any of those kids, you would be Miko, and don't pretend otherwise.
I know, someone would just be like, I'm Raph, I'm just going to be like a 10-year-old on my laptop ignoring these big robots.
I'm Jack. I'm the cool one. I'm just the normal guy. I like my hot motorcycle girlfriend.
Videos aren't really my thing. Video games aren't my thing, okay? They're not cool.
When Bulkhead nearly kicks the can, that's when I think a lot of people kind of switch and realise that, oh, actually, she's kind of the best human character.
True.
Best of the kids.
And people get so sick of Jack as the series progresses.
Jack's dull. Jack is
boring.
Is
pretty funny in this first
I also think Jack's mother's overrated as well, because I just find her a bit annoying as well.
How dare you?
I like June.
It was their attempt at trying to flesh out his character more, I think. Just by adding another character in. Make him more interesting by putting his mum in it. And then Fowler comes up and it.
Fowler's great. Fowler's God. We need to get Ernie Hudson to TFN if we can.
We need to do it.
We need to. We're kidnapping him tonight. Let's go, boys. Let's go. But yeah, Fowler was great. Fowler was a great foil for the Autobots. He genuinely put up a good fight against the cons. Even though he did accidentally give them vehicle modes half the time. But yeah, it was really fun having him play off against all the characters. Really, there was kind of begrudging respect with Optimus at the start. Kind of you're the one who's got his head screwed on, or should have his head screwed on. So I guess you know what you're doing. And then Bulkhead and Ratchet, it seems that he kind of butted heads with the most, and that was really fun to see. Every time it was really fun to see.
Do you think with the 3 kid characters though, if they rolled them into a single character rather than having 3 of them, that would probably been better received and better handled?
I don't know. I feel like that character would have been portrayed as a Mary Sue type of thing, because you're combining Raph's intelligence, Miko's charm, and Jack just being Jack.
Well, it wouldn't be just 1-for-1 like that, but rather than them juggling the 3 kids, just to have one character who kind of is that human ally.
You'd probably get a lot more centered episodes around that character, though, just like how in Rescue Bots, Cody gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, but then if you look at Spike in Generation 1, he wasn't in a lot of episodes, but when he was, he got his moments to shine. Koji Onishi too from RAD.
I don't know. I think having the humans paired with an Autobot created some really good dynamics and fun dynamics there. I don't think having just one human partner would have necessarily worked as well as it does with these 3. They're not perfect, but I think there's some interesting areas explored with those.
I think Raph was just relegated to the background a lot, and he just had his kind of quirk that he's smart, and that was kind of it.
Sorry, you may hear some you may hear some footsteps above me. That's my neighbours. So
The bastards. I don't know, I think they could have combined Raph and Jack's characters.
Yeah, that would have probably worked better.
Or even just like split Jack into two and like give it to Miko and Raph. Give them a little bit more.
With like a saw.
Yeah, just split him lengthways.
Yeah. Get knockout.
He's one of those siege weaponizers.
Yeah.
Peg him on the arm.
I like Transformers.
Oh, looks like we got an incoming message from Jack at KeejTV. I wonder what he's got to say.
Prime feels like, comparing it to the contemporary Clone Wars, which also had like $1 million for every episode, it feels like it's kind of trapped in that Clone Wars Season 2 kind of era, right? They tried to do a million things with this cartoon. They tried to have it be like the next big continuation of the Fall Cybertron games. It was supposed to connect up to like a million other properties Hasbro had. It was gonna like last 1 million years. There was a whole like mythos behind it. There was a huge book, The Covenant of Primus, whatever that was. But it kind of feels like it's trapped being one of those other, again, contemporary cartoons like Max Steel or Slug Terra. Those like 2010 CGI cartoons where the crew just kind of wanted to make a decent cartoon, right? They had the budget for it, they had the cash. Jeffrey Combs' Ratchet is crazy. I love that, right? Yeah, I love every single Ratchet. Something about that is brilliant to me. And it feels like just all of Hasbro's kind of weight collapsed underneath it, especially when you're going into like the Beast Hunters era, or like the toyline show, the mythos kind of falling apart. What the fuck's going on there? But Prime's kind of legacy, weirdly enough, even if they kind of fucked them up in the actual legacy toyline, is very weird because there isn't, there isn't too much substance to kind of mess around with in the modern day, right? I think with stuff like More Than Meets the Eye, animated, you can, like the big ones, much like Prime, you can sink your teeth into it, right? But Prime feels a little more shallow than that. Again, amazing repaints for the toys, the Botcon stuff, Cannonball, the Japanese kind of guys, like Wild Rider, very cool. But something about it feels like I just can't get too much out of it. It feels like there should have been more, but at the same time, it was happy just being a cool cartoon that was on at the weekends, if that makes sense.
Another point I wanted to discuss was Transformers Prime Megatron, where he's very monstrous in this depiction. Right down to his teeth. What do you guys think of Megatron?
I don't like his eyes. Sorry.
I like the eyes. It's just if you stare at them for too long, that's whenever you get immersed out of the story.
He looks very cross-eyed in a lot of toys as well.
Not even just in the toys. It's like it's also in the show. They make him really crossy-eyed, and it's like that was done on purpose. Like, they spent the budget and they went, yeah, let's make him cross-eyed.
I do appreciate he wasn't this, like, grand scheming, like, Beast Wars Megatron or animated Megatron, nor was he, like, meant to be, like, a tragic one, like Transformers 1. Instead, he's just a pure monster.
He's a bastard.
And I think that's great.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any kind of ulterior motive other than kill all the Autobots and take over the galaxy.
But I think that's what's needed in this series.
Yeah.
We did get the origin with him and Optimus, which I really liked. And it really sort of made us realise, yeah, he hates Orion. He completely messed up his entire plan.
That story at the start of Season 2 of Orion Pax, I find that one of the most boring arcs.
No.
Yeah, I just did not enjoy it.
Well, I like that one purely because of Peter Cullen's performance. I think he does it perfectly. Cause I have a thing with Prime Optimus where he sort of loses his personality throughout the seasons and throughout the show. And that one, hearing Peter Cullen's performance in that, you really hear like his soft tone and like his internal conflict of like, who am I? It's like it's such a good performance. I think it's really good, and he really gets to just stretch his acting muscles. It's brilliant. I love it.
I just think I'm not a big fan of the data clerk aspect of Orion.
I really liked it.
I guess I'm the odd one out on this.
You are. You are.
I don't mind
Weirdo.
it. Although, I mean, Joe, you make a quite salient point. Actually, I hadn't really realised that. Having watched, Darkness Rising and now Marston Students and Scrap Heap. Like Optimus actually, he's not just stoic all the time. He has the kind of dad vibes of like Generation 1 version is just a bit more kind of world weary, because he's making cute jokes like, I will bring you back a snowball, and then you kind of lose that in later seasons. He just becomes
he's a bit quirky.
Yeah, he's like he's not like awkward or anything. Not kind of. Yeah, he's just fun. He has his fun little moments where he's not being just like, the Decepticons must be destroyed. It's like, he's got a bit of personality to him. That's quite fun.
I also liked in that episode where he's trying to do RC in the snow, like the fact that they know they might meet their end, and he's just accepting it in that way. Like, it's
a very touching moment.
You see a lot of his personality in that scene.
Yeah, it's a very touching moment. I think you could genuinely believe it's like, oh, they might actually die here. The stakes in that episode in particular are actually like pretty solid. Like, everyone is like really screwed unless they club together. But
there's also another carryover from the Michael Bay films where they're weak to cold, and I think they handle it really well. And it is another point where they've kind of expanded on the lore.
There was a bit in Cybertron, because I just did my entire watch through of Cybertron recently. I think I binged it like a
Don't
week
ever
and a
watch
half.
that one.
I love it. Especially after Energon. There is a bit in that where they do say, like, yeah, Transformers were really weak to cold. So yeah, it's sort of a thing in the entire series.
Okay, yeah, I only watched like the first few episodes of Cybertron.
You've basically watched the entire show if you've only seen like the first 2-3 episodes of Cybertron.
Yeah, it's not the greatest.
It's not the greatest, but it's fun.
No, the only thing that really changed is that at some point Starscream engages in some kind of like inflation fetish, and God comes back and he fights him.
Oh, there's also the scraplets as well.
Yeah, they were fun. I like that they added those.
They were cool.
But
they were also in Cybertron.
Shut up! No one cares.
They were in Cybertron. They were the scrap metals. Really? Yeah, they were little scrap metal guys called. Well, they were called scrap metals.
Yeah,
and
it was a weird thing.
Yeah, they're just like little. They're like little guys, but they are just like little sort of beast things that just like attack everyone and swarm people. Which leads into a point I was going to make before of how Transformers Prime seems to take the best elements from different shows. Like, it's a lot of different stuff that's been told before mashed into this show. Like,
some of this is stuff I thought they'd pioneered themselves, but now it's like, oh, this is from a show I've not watched. So like, I'm just wondering how much original stuff they've actually done.
The Omega keys are just the Cyberplanet keys.
It's really funny kind of looking at that in hindsight, because the Cyberplanet keys in Cybertron were a big deal, and it was so like anime styled. And just screaming out, "Cyber power, key power, cosmic beam!" And these are just like, they're just keys.
You could also argue it's the O parts from RAD as well.
Yeah, it's just another MacGuffin. But like this time, it's a reference to a previous show. So no, and it kind of calling it like the Omega Lock and the Cyberplanet keys, or the Cyber keys, is like, it is a bit funny, considering where they kind of brought that from. But it's kind of cool having that sort of like, I don't know, introducing and incorporating the mythological side of TF Prime into these previously very anime over the top style artifacts, elements, I guess. Yeah,
I get what you're saying. They're not retelling old stories, they're just incorporating the best bits of those stories into this show.
Yes,
I guess.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about the toys, actually?
Yes, let's.
Yes, toy time.
So first, let's go around and see what everyone's favourite Transformers Prime toy is.
Oh, don't put me on the spot like this.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't even thinking about that. I wrote it down in my notes, like, favourite toy, what is it? And I just didn't think.
What you guys are thinking, there is another topic I wanted to bring up, is whenever Smokescreen was introduced, there's lots of theorising on who that character is going to be. Like, people thought it was going to be Jazz, Blue Streak. I just saw the number 38 and like, that's got to be Smokescreen, but why is his colours different?
Yeah, the first look we got was his what was it, like him driving up in vehicle mode or something in
and it was a bit blurry and everything, but there's like so many theories and debates on who it's going to be.
Yeah, they saw 38. It's like, what could this be referencing? It's like, oh, it's Smokescreen's. It was Smokescreen's number from Alternator?
Generation 1.
Well, no, it was 38 in Prime, and that was his number in G1. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, like, on one of the message boards, I'm like, 38's got to be Smokescreen. I think I was the first to, like... I'm not going to say I'm the first to, like, figure it out, because that's just a bit arrogant, but I might have been.
You're also the first guy to review Prime Wheeljack.
I was the first to review Pred Wheeljack, actually, which is an unfortunate tragedy for the internet.
That was a great toy. All right, I want to make a caveat for talking about the toys. You're not allowed to talk about the APC versions. You can't talk about anything that they improved on. Talk about the original releases. No, I do know what my favourite Prime toy is, and it's technically not the Prime toy. It's the Generations version, but it's the Cliff Jumper. I think that's one of the best Transformers toys ever made.
You're only saying that because I voice him.
That's very true. You do such a good job, darling. But it's a brilliant. I mean, it's such a brilliant vehicle mode. It's so clean. It's a little bit fiddly if you don't get stuff quite right. You know, if you don't align panels quite right. Yeah, but sorry. There we go. Just gonna turn on my my laptop power. But yeah, it's very posable. Like it's so show accurate as well, or at least it's show accurate enough to the point that you're kind of just nitpicking if you're being like, oh, that bit doesn't quite look like his legs. It's a brilliant toy. I love it so much. It would have been great to have got a tailgate recolor out of that. Would have been really nice.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do it. They did it for the Cyberverse toy, but not for that one.
Yeah, but yeah, I think
ABC do it.
I think it's a perfect Transformers toy.
It is really. I like how you can have the flip out arm cannons, but then still have hands that can grip stuff anyway.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a cool gimmick. I'm gonna pick him up. Hang on.
So my favorite Prime toy is actually the first edition Optimus Prime mold, but in the Dark Guard satellite colors, which is the black with gold.
Yum.
I just really like the way that looks, but also the mold is just generally really nice.
Yeah, fantastic.
So I never owned the original Prime version. I've only owned the APC ones, which apparently I'm not allowed to put on the list. I am going to go for most underrated one. I'm going to say Prid Bumblebee.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Prime RID Bumblebee. Everyone says the first edition one's better. I disagree.
I hated the Prid one at first, but then over time it started to grow on me. It's more the way the head and the neck works I didn't like, but it's the best scaled one.
I think that figure could be perfect if they just added one joint for that head flap. Add that to add a little joint there to where it can just spin round, so it can be flush against his back. Because I love that transformation. I love that you just pull the arms out and the entire torso bends, the head lifts up, the arms straighten out. I think it's great. The first edition one, I think, is just weird because those arms are they're bent in slightly, so when you have him pointing his guns, they angle down towards the ground. I hate that. That always bothered me. So having the easy transformation from the Prid one, just fun as well. You can do it in just a couple moves. And the right amount of guns as well. He's proportioned right. I think it's brilliant. I love it. I need to get a clean one because my little 14-year-old self decided, this will look really good with a black wash on it, and I just covered it in black paint.
What do you make of the repaints of that?
There's loads.
Because there was the Shadow Strike Bumblebee, the grey one, and I love the Hot Shot recolor. It's a slightly unexpected recoloring choice and name, but it's such a good looking thing with the flames.
I kind of regret getting rid of that one, but nah, I'm fine. I might get another one in the future. They're not hard to get.
I like that smokescreen one. I don't know the name of it. I don't really collect toys.
The one you got's the Beast Hunters one with toy hacks and custom paint.
Yes, that one. That one's pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Prowl recolor of that, the retooling of him. I think that was
with that mold. You want to do the arm mod to get the top of the car off the arms, and it makes the toy so much better.
Yeah, it's barely a mod. Like
It's just removal.
Yeah,
it's just
it
taking
makes
them
it
off.
sound more involved than it actually is. It just take this bit off the friction hinge, and but improves the look so much.
You can kind of wedge them onto like the back as well.
Yeah.
Bit loose, but you can kind of do it.
I didn't like his season 3 colours.
I like them. I like them a lot.
I'm surprised we didn't get a toy of that as well. We did with the Cyberverse line.
Yeah.
Oh, interestingly about Smokescreen toys as well. Like, whenever the character was first revealed in Season 2, they were still a long way off making an actual toy of him. So, Arms Micron, the Japanese toy line, just did a knockout repaint with a new head for him. And it was actually pretty impressive, considering it's like, that was never intended to be what Smokescreen was, but it was a nice stand-in.
Yeah.
Everyone was fuming, though. Everyone hated that thing when it was announced.
As a last minute kind of, hack job kind of thing.
Let's capitalize on this new character.
As kind of thing like, okay, we need a toy for new character. Here you go. As that, it still sucks, but it's. I appreciate the attempt.
I really like the color on it. Like, the color was just really nice.
Like they obviously had to kind of fill out the toy line with a lot of like non-show characters, which had some really good designs. So they brought in
Rumble.
Rumble was great. I really love that little hatchback.
I need to play with mine more.
They did the Ironhide and they repainted it into Cup.
It was the other way around. It was Cup, and then they did an Arms Micron Ironhide.
Yeah,
The problem is that was just too small.
Yeah, it's a great design. I love that design for Ironhide. It's just a shame that these are tiny little deluxe.
What did you guys think of RC in Prime overall?
I liked
really
her.
liked her.
What do you think of them, like, changing her from the sort of classical pink, like, kind of Princess Leia design to, like, this blue, more edgy warrior type?
I thought it suited her.
I adore it.
I think it definitely suited this version of the character. I would not have complained, though, if she was, like, pink. I think it was just it's just a thing of the times. It's like, boys don't like pink things. That's a girl's colour, and girls don't watch Transformers. Like, that's a byproduct of ingrained sexism in pop culture.
But it's also like, by having her be blue and a bit more edgy, like the sort of girls who would be into it probably wouldn't want the sort of pink princess. They'd want someone a bit edgier, more tomboyish.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, I think that's just kind of me looking through the goggles of like the 2020s and being like, allegedly we're more, we're not so bothered now about kind of like boys' toys and girls' toys and that kind of stuff. Is like, if I had done this, if Transformers Prime was being done in the 2020s, I would love RC to be pink. I think that she really could have, but yeah, at the time, I see why they didn't go with the G1 color scheme, because it wouldn't have been appealing to a lot of people. Her having the kind of chip on her shoulder with all her dead partners, I think sometimes that got a bit, like, stale. Anytime someone wants to get at her and just, like, they mention that, like, Starscream's like, remember the time I killed Cliffjumper? And he does that, like, every other episode that they're in together, and she flies off the handle. It's like, play another tune, come on, man. I made a
He does
meme
it
about
purposefully,
that.
though.
He does.
I did mention it before. I was like, he's the sniveling coward. He's like, I'm going to prod you until you jump. And then he realizes, shit, I should not have done this.
One bit I do want to mention is the Prid Viacon. That transformation was incredible, how the whole vehicle just stores in the legs.
An iconic toy. Utterly iconic.
That doesn't get enough praise.
It really
That's
don't.
a big one.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to own 5 of them plus 2 flyers.
But anyway, I think we've kind of covered a lot of the sort of overview of Transformers Prime.
Yeah.
We've gone over a lot of different topics, and hopefully people listening got something out of this. But yeah, like Transformers Prime, we all have our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I guess we all enjoyed it.
Underrated character, Breakdown.
I think
Breakdown, we didn't talk about him, but he's cool.
Yeah, Breakdown's great.
Breakdown's great. I think on the whole, Prime, I understand and see why it's so iconic for people. I think just to kind of like summarize generally, it was a great show, fell short in a lot of areas, mainly because of budgets, but it's beloved for a reason. And I will.
And the
love
visuals are still very impressive today.
very much holds up. You know what? I was a very small point. I was saying on the Darkness Rising podcast that Starscream's lip syncing and that was awful. Actually, watching Master and Students, it's immediately much, much better. They finally got it right.
Yeah, everything picks up after the pilot.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
Starscream
yeah,
gets
yeah.
really good in season 3 when they start using his wings to express. Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff. Good
Oh,
stuff.
I can't wait to watch more.
Nicole, do you have any closing thoughts?
I just like Transformers. I like Transformers Prime. Pretty good.
Nice. I think that's a good note to end on.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.